Welcome to the NFC East Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things NFC East from the best creators in the division, including Dallas Cowboys creator Jake Tuck, Philadelphia Eagles creator Simone, New York Giants creator Kid Blue, and Washington Commanders creator Rio. Catch the NFC East Roundtable every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on the NFC East Roundtable YouTube channel. What is up, NFC East football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC East Roundtable. Week 18 is in the books. The 2025 regular season is in the books, and only one team from within the division remains alive. As we head into Wildcard weekend, we'll talk about the Philadelphia Eagles securing the 3 seed, getting set to take on the San Francisco 49ers. We'll also talk about the craziness going on around the league, job openings left and right, including a couple of coordinator jobs within this division, a couple of head coaching candidates as well, now available, that may have some people within this division wondering, should we replace our guy? We'll talk about all that and more right here on the NFC East Roundtable. Without further ado, let's bring in the gang. Rio, Jake Tuck, KB, Simone. Typically, we dive into recapping the previous week's games, but I'm not entirely sure we want to dive into talking about Tanner McKee's outing against the Washington Commanders. The Commanders did, however, get the W over the Eagles 24-17. The New York Giants finishing strong, 2 straight wins. They double up the Dallas Cowboys. In terms of the draft order and how things are situated there, the New York Giants finished with the 5th overall draft pick. The Washington Commanders finished with the 7th overall draft pick. The Dallas Cowboys finished with the 12th overall. So 3 of the 4 of you guys picking in the top 12 when it comes to 2026. Simone's hoping that she's picking 32nd. Yeah, Simone's hoping she has the last pick of the draft. Well,
congratulations, fellas! Congrats.
Oh, Rio, you would have been 5 if you
would have
lost,
been the
right?
5th pick. Yes, because the tiebreaker strength of schedule thing with the Giants would have pushed them back, and we would. Oh my God, we had the 5th pick sitting there, and then Josh Johnson wants to go be a hero in Week 18. Yeah.
So Keely Ringo.
Now, KB's playing the world's tiniest violin. He should have had the 2nd overall pick, maybe the 1st overall.
We should have the 1st overall pick.
Yeah, if it were up to him. So we typically, like I said, we recap the previous week's games, but there's plenty of other stuff to talk about before we preview the wild card round. Let's dive into massive NFL breaking news as of about an hour ago. The second longest tenured head coach in the NFL no longer has his job. After nearly 20 years as the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, hired in 2008, John Harbaugh fired as the head coach of the organization. That now becomes one of, if not the most coveted head coaching openings in my lifetime. And now John Harbaugh perhaps becomes one of the more coveted head coaches to go to a new organization. So let's talk about that. And I'll start with you here, KB, because you already have a head coach opening. Brian Daboll fired in the middle of the season. Obviously, the Giants are going to be shopping around this offseason for their new guy, and it doesn't get more illustrious than the man who just left Baltimore. Is this an avenue you'd like to pursue as a New York Giants fan?
Better be.
Absolutely, yes. We were just talking about it before we started the stream. I said, man, what a time to need a head coach. I called this John Harbaugh thing from the beginning, man. I knew because they started off, like, I believe 1-5, and they clawed their way back, but unfortunately they weren't able to pull it together. But if you look at the time in Baltimore with John Harbaugh over the past couple of seasons, ever since the Super Bowl, I mean, it kind of has been pretty dull, pretty stale. Same thing with Mike Tomlin there in the AFC North. I mean, these are 2 head coaches with a lot of respect, a lot of experience, and have won a Super Bowl, and it hasn't really been much after that, except a couple of, winning seasons and constantly making the playoffs, but not doing much with it. Because if you really kind of think about it, we always talk about, how these guys are great head coaches, but if you think about the Ravens and Steelers particularly, now we don't know what's going on with Mike Tomlin. I'm just throwing him in there in this scenario just because it's kind of the same situation, but they haven't really You never really talk about the Steelers and Ravens in Super Bowl conversations, except like when we talk about in the preseason. But when it really rolls around to it, we never think about those teams in the playoffs. So I think that was the kind of the motivator here. I think it was a time for John Harbaugh specifically to get a new a head start somewhere else. And try to rebuild another team. I think the Giants is a perfect team for it. Man, I wish John Harbaugh would be the head coach here, but our dumb franchise would probably hire Lou Anarumo out of all of these great candidates. They're just gonna, we have a Giants connection with this guy because he's a pro. His son is a pro scout here, so they're gonna want some traditionalism there. But man, John Harbaugh would be a dream come true. Even though things have been stale in Baltimore, he would definitely turn things around in New York.
The levels within this league are awfully interesting. John Harbaugh is fired because the success they were having wasn't successful enough. You mentioned Mike Tomlin. It's been rumored forever now that they want to move off of him, or at least the fan base seems to. My Buffalo Bills, the McDermott on the hot seat conversation is had right around this time every single year, despite the Bills being the most winningest franchise in football since 2020. So you're looking at the levels here, and this is where I'm interested with you, KB. The Giants need to just be looking for stabilization at this point. You're not looking to hire John Harbaugh to win a Super Bowl. Of course, that would be great, but is that what you're looking for right now? Somebody to come in and get this team past the depths of the league and get more towards the middle of the pack, and that way you have something to build on here.
Yeah, I think that's where the Giants want to go ultimately. Now, it all depends on whether that head coach wants to be here, but the Giants have tried the young hot shots, the guys they're taking a chance on, the first time head coaches. You look at Joe Judge, you look at Brian Daboll, and they tried that avenue already. Now I think they want to go with the more experienced guys. The last time we ever had a successful head coach here was an experienced guy in Tom Coughlin and his job that he did with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I think they're going to try to want to go down that avenue again and explore that. It's just that over the past couple of seasons, when the Giants were looking for a head coach, not many of those experienced good head coaches were out there. Now you've got a couple of them, and potentially more after the playoffs. We're going to see Mike Tomlin, Matt LaFleur, guys that have won in this league and have been successful with teams. But yeah, John Harbaugh is like a once-in-a-lifetime type of head coach candidate, but I'm hoping the Giants look his way. I think they already submitted a request for him as fast as they did like Kevin Stefanski when he showed up, but I'm looking forward to it, man.
Now, KB's Giants fired their head coach in the middle of the season, so it goes without saying he'd be interested in John Harbaugh. But I'm interested to hear from the two guys up top, because it feels like John Harbaugh is one of those guys that you might fire your current guy just to hire him in replacement. So we're looking at the Commanders. Dan Quinn, of course, in his first year with Washington, an incredible year. Gets all the way to the NFC Championship. As we know, this year, it was the complete opposite. You're looking at Jay Tuck's situation, and it always has felt like the Schottenheimer hire was a stopgap to wait around for something like this to come about. Right, exactly. And you have to think, if you're Jerry, what would be bigger than hiring one of the most popular, famous, and successful NFL coaches in the last quarter century here? Rio, I'll start with you, though, because the Commanders, for much of your life, right, you've been trying to get to the place you were last year. Dan Quinn gets you there, but now it's back to the bottom of the mountain. You're looking at John Harbaugh being available here. What's your initial thought? And is this something you would consider if it were up to you over in Washington?
Yeah, all these legends want to be available the year my team don't have a head coaching vacancy. But it's a nuanced conversation, and I think some of our fans would be uncomfortable having this conversation. But how could you not, when 2 years into Dan Quinn's tenure, the offensive and defensive coordinator that he hired were both fired today? We have an opening at offensive and defensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury and Joe Witt Jr., deuces. When you tell me Dan Quinn, his calling card, his signature, his superpower as a head coach is his ability with people and to put together a staff, well, he's already had to shuffle that staff 2 years in, going into Jaden Daniels' crucial third year. You know what they say about the third year of a young quarterback? It means everything, and we're going to have to go into it with new coordinators on both sides. So it's another rebuilding type year. We need a lot of things on the roster. Obviously, John Harbaugh would be an upgrade. We're not going to do it. I'll put that out there right now. We're not going to fire Dan Quinn and hire John Harbaugh. It would be a considerable upgrade. The Baltimore job is one of the biggest and best openings this league has seen in a very long time, and John Harbaugh is one of the best candidates we've seen hit the open market in a long time. But obviously, if we could, I would be all for it. Bro, we just fired both of the coordinators. At that point, the head coach is under a microscope, and his seat is hotter than hell at this point, because if you don't knock these hirings out the park, deuces in 2027. Also, if you bring in an offensive guy, if you bring in a young offensive guy that is too impressive to the point that we may lose him to a head coaching job, you're potentially hiring someone that could be your successor. So it's a very sticky situation DQ and company have themselves right now as we go into this 2026 offseason.
You mentioned the 2 coordinator firings. We'll talk about that in just a second. Jay Tuck was in the same boat this afternoon with the Cowboys firing their defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. We'll touch on that in just a second, too. But, Jay Tuck, looking at the head coaching situation in Dallas, we know Jerry loves to make a splash. Feels like hiring John Harbaugh would be exactly that. So what do you think about the idea of him coming to Dallas, and would you want to replace Schottenheimer after what you saw from him in 2025?
Man, this situation takes me back to high school, Jay Tuck's senior year, right? So at my high school, there was this girl. Her name was Lorena Rodriguez, and she was the hottest girl.
Not the government name. Not the government.
Damn.
She's married. She's married now, so she has the last name.
Oh, I know.
She was the hottest girl in school, and I always thought, like, man, what would life be like with that, right? So it was senior year. Knew she wasn't going to be available for prom. So I had another prom day who was cool, who was unnamed, right? But 2 weeks before the prom, her and her boyfriend broke up. He was back on the market.
She's back on the market.
Just thinking, hey, man, it is senior year. You have to go for it, Tuck. So I went to her. I was like, yo, what are you doing for prom?
Shoot a
Like,
shoot.
actually, I don't have a date.
Hey.
I said, you don't have a date? She was like, nah. She was like, would you want to take me to prom? I said, hell yes. And I dumped my other day, and I took the baddest girl in the school to the prom. I won prom king, and the rest was history. Jerry Jones, man. I know Brian Schottenheimer is cool. He's a very likable guy. He's a player coach. He's friendly. I know his story with his father. Hey, man, sometimes you just got to upgrade. And when you have the opportunity to upgrade and get a coach like Harbaugh to your organization, you at least got to ask and see what it's hitting for. You at least got to try. So for me personally, if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm just picking up the phone. You can keep Shotty as your offensive coordinator. That's perfectly fine. Let him call plays, do all the fun stuff, be a quarterback assistant coach, give him a cute little title, keep his salary. But if you have the opportunity to get this caliber of coach, you have to do it, because the one thing I always loved about the Baltimore Ravens, even though they really haven't got to the pinnacle of winning the Super Bowl or getting to the Super Bowl, they have always been competitive. You know, when you play the Ravens, you have to lace up your chin strap, because it's going to be a tough game. They're tough. They're gritty, whether it's with the run game, right? And John, like, we have a quarterback that can actually throw, baby. You know what I'm saying? So we can do a few things. You know what I'm saying? You got Rashad Bateman getting 354 yards. We ain't got to worry about that in Dallas. So pick up the phone, Jerry, and call Harbaugh, because I would love to have him or Mike Tomlin in Dallas, because this is would be a dream come true for me personally.
Bro,
That was a dream analogy right there, by the way, Jay.
Yeah, awesome analogy.
Goodness.
Hey, man, so hey, you got to upgrade. We got the opportunity to upgrade. You got to go for it. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot, always.
The question is, did you drop somebody to go get her? Is the question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I dropped her. Hey, man. Hey,
What happened to the other girl?
Yeah, what happened to her?
She even get to go to the
She had a good time. I'm sure her problem. She's good.
He wasn't worried about it. He wasn't worried about that. He avoided her all night.
That's exactly how I met my ex-wife. That's exactly how I met my ex-wife too, man. Crazy times, bro. Left my original date and took her to homecoming. The rest was history.
Hey, man. Hey, sometimes you got
Hey, shoot or shoot, yep. Shoot or shoot. Can't miss out.
She's like, yeah, I would love to go to prom with you. I said, well, that's all I needed to know.
Hey, for Jay Tuck, that fight or flight kicked in, right? Fight or flight kick.
You can't let your significant other stop you from finding true love, man.
right. When they say on power, I just lost the woman I love. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man,
what did it cost you? Everything.
That was the craziest scene in TV history.
Hey, yeah, you tell your wife you relax. You just lost the woman you love.
Hey, when Ghost ran around the corner when they was running, when he had the vest on, bro, he ain't never had love like that. You can't let the one that's such a
I had to pause it and
learn
take a
from
breath.
Ghost, man. Learn from Ghost. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out John Harbaugh.
What's crazy about this analogy is this is essentially the equivalent of getting divorced with your longtime partner of nearly 2 decades. That's what Baltimore's doing here. And they're looking to upgrade, like you guys had mentioned. The question is, will the grass be greener? If you're looking at what's gone down the last 3 years for John Harbaugh, if Zay Flowers doesn't fumble in the red zone, they could be off to the Super Bowl. If Mark Andrews doesn't drop a 2-point conversion, they could be off to another AFC championship. If Tyler Loop doesn't miss wide right, they could be AFC North champions playing this upcoming weekend against the Houston Texans. The little things at the end of the year have gone wrong for John Harbaugh, but it's not like he's been unsuccessful. He's gotten his teams to the point at which they've been capable of having those moments to be able to move on. They just unfortunately haven't worked out for Baltimore. So it'll be very interesting to monitor this situation, both Baltimore's side of things and, of course, John Harbaugh's side of things. Let's talk about what's going down within this division right now. We talked about it just a second ago. Let's elaborate on it. And let's start with the Washington Commanders, who fired not just one coordinator on Black Tuesday here, but both coordinators. Offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury out. Defensive coordinator Joe Witt out. And Rio, you said something interesting here. With Dan Quinn, it's kind of an indictment on him when you're firing both your coordinators in one day. You don't see that happen far too often. So, Rio, in your estimation, were these the right moves? And what does it look like moving forward? What would you want it to look like moving forward in 2026?
Yeah, I know Simone thinks this whole stream is beneath her right now. Like,
she's just laughing.
I got a whole playoff game to talk about. Y'all foolishness.
Simone
Y'all
talking about AI bot down there. No
coaching.
AI
Down there
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
They're playing a playoff war.
This is the real subject of the day, all right?
Don't give a damn about none of this, man. Shout out to the Eagles for winning the division, by the way. Respect to them for winning the NFC East and being the lone playoff team in the division. We all knew Joe Witt Jr. was going to be fired. He's Dan Quinn's buddy, best friend. That's his ace. That's his Robin to his Batman. So he couldn't fire him in season. He just took play calling duties from him and told him to go back in the box. But we all knew that was coming. The Cliff Kingsbury thing surprises a lot of people. We were starting to hear rumblings coming out over these last few weeks. There's some type of divide between Adam Peters and Cliff Kingsbury, and they're saying the development of Jaden Daniels caused a rift between the two. But we're in a weird spot because we're going into year 3 as a head coach. You hired these people. You have been given full autonomy to pick your staff. It's not a good sign when you need new coordinators. Like, we already need enough on this damn roster. It's porous. We need a whole new defense, and we need to put some more talent around Jaden Daniels. He also is going to have to speak another language offensively this year. But a lot of fans wanted the Cliff thing. I wouldn't have mind having Cliff back. I like Cliff Kingsbury. Is he perfect? Absolutely not. There are things that he left to be desired, but Cliff Kingsbury is a good OC. He'll probably take one of these stupid-ass jobs like the Titans jobs and be fired after a couple of years and be back to calling another team's offense, because in the NFL, I think Cliff is an OC and not a head coach. In college, I think he could be a really good head coach. I like Cliff. I wish him the best on his way out. Shout out to Joe Witt Jr., but we all knew that was coming. I don't think he'll be coordinating anybody's defense anytime soon. They better make the right hire. I feel like Dan Quinn is going to do what we all expect on the defensive side. I think Raheem Morris will be here by Martin Luther King Day. Like, that just feels like an easy, they've worked together, they have history, they love each other, and Raheem can call up a defense. I think that's what's coming. But the offensive side, I'm very curious. I need someone.
Brian Daboll, baby. If you guys get Brian Daboll, you guys are going to be great.
I'm with it. That's what I want. Daboll or Mike McDaniel if the Dolphins fire him.
He's already shown that Brian Daboll's already shown that he loves Jaden Daniels. He probably really want to go and watch. That scares me. If you guys get Brian Daboll, you guys are going to be a top offense again.
I'm with it. And word on the street is we going to have options
McCarthy
coordinator. They better go with something fire and better not bring that old nonsense.
I forgot that opens y'all up for Raheem Morris, and that pisses me off now.
Yeah, Raheem Morris better come coach this defense, man.
Is it Raheem or Raheem?
We call him Ra. You know what I'm saying?
I call him Raheem.
He brings that Ra.
Put a little extra sauce on it.
But y'all, that was crazy the way they got Raheem up out of there after the game. Like, they couldn't even wait till Black Monday.
Yeah.
That boy stepped off the podium. He stepped off the podium. Hey, brother, it was real.
Hey, we got your bags already packed up in there.
You know they were lit too, because they had the 4-game winning streak, and then boom. Out of here.
Hey, come here once you break the team down, come holler at us, man.
Him and the DM got axed. Hey, man.
Fontenot. Hey, you and Terry, come here. Yeah, come here, man. Hey. It was
Joe
nice knowing y'all.
He's out as the DC of the Washington Commanders. Matt Eberflus out as the DC of the Dallas Cowboys. He, of course, was the head coach of the Chicago Bears for 2 years prior to joining Dallas. Ben Johnson takes over, immediately revitalizes Chicago. And here we have Matt Eberflus going from that head coaching job to a DC job in Dallas to on the unemployment line. So, Jay Tuck, what do you make of this firing? Are you on board with it? And what's next for Dallas at defensive coordinator?
Celebration, man. Celebration. Matt Eberflus had to go. He should have went a lot earlier for a few reasons, right? We know how historically bad the defense was. I came on here every week talking about the defense, but for the fact that if you look on Twitter, you ain't seen one player say, "Hey, man, appreciate you, coach. Thanks for you." Have not seen this team speak highly about Matt Eberflus. There was never this connection. You never saw the defensive side of the ball or players or captains come out and speak about Matt. It was always they spoke about Brian Schottenheimer. There seemed to be this disconnection where he just wasn't a player's coach. Then you add on the scheme, then you add on the disconnection. It was just time for go, because the one thing I say about Matt Eberflus, you cannot tell me that we thrived under Dan Quinn and Joe Witt, right? Thrived under Mike Zimmer with pretty much the same personnel, even though we had Micah Parsons, and completely fell off the face of the planet defensively. That is coaching. Not one single player in Dallas on the defensive side of the ball excelled. We saw flashes from Kenny Clark, saw flashes from Osa, flashes from Quentin Williams, but it wasn't on a consistent basis. Deron Bland looks like a shell of himself. Even the linebackers that you brought in, from Logan Wilson to Jack Sanborn, who you brought from Chicago, they was inactives and healthy scratches. So Jerry Jones was perplexed. He was confused. They didn't make the big mistake that I thought they were going to make, is Jerry's talking about, giving a week or two to make the decision. Jerry said, "Nah, Tuck, I watched your live show last night. You right. Bro got to go." So now we can start interviewing these other defensive coordinators out there. So exciting times for Cowboys Nation. So we'll just sit back and wait and see who's going to be our next defensive coordinator. But if we can get Washington, you know what I'm saying? If there's a divide, I'll probably just move on from Dan Quinn, if I'm just being honest with y'all, because, going from the NFC Championship game to the top 5 pick, I think that's just not, the standard in Washington. So I'll probably consider moving on from head coach.
Yeah, well, speaking of moving on, Scotty wants Rio to move on from his Christmas tree in the background. He's staying Rio. It's time to take it down. I think you got till tomorrow. A week after New Year's. I think that's what you got. I think that's the time.
I'll take it down at some point, man. So I might let it rock till we make these hirings, man. I want some good juju going into the cycle, man. I can't have them failing Jaden in year 3. Such a huge year, man. Tree staying up for now.
Rio's too deep into figuring out what the Commanders are going to do with that 7th pick right now to take down that tree. We got Daddy Beck saying, "Kid Blue, your face is nice. What's your skincare?"
Hey, Beck, I don't feel comfortable you asking that question with that profile picture, brother. I feel like we're in dangerous waters right now.
He heard her say "shoot or shoot," man.
He trying to glow like you, bro.
Don't gatekeep KB. He want to know.
He trying to glow like you, bro.
My skincare routine is just genetics. What can I say? I don't use anything else.
He said what you exfoliate with. Is that LaRoche Posay? What you got on, boy?
Well, we've talked about the three teams in this division in need of new coordinators and new head coaches. It's about time we talk about the lone remaining contender in this division, the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. We will preview Wildcard Weekend in just a second. Before we do, I want to give a shout out to my friends over at RotoWire who have a ton of premium features at your disposal to use for a variety of different things, from fantasy all the way down to betting. One of my favorite tools, the NFL odds tool over on RotoWire, where you can look at all of the odds for all of the wildcard games all in one spot and compare them across all major sports books. That way you get the best line possible. For instance, you can get the best line for the Rams over on DraftKings, the best line for the Panthers in the first wildcard game of the year over on FanDuel. That's just one of the many awesome premium features with a RotoWire premium subscription. Get in on it via the link in the description below. Click that, sign up for RotoWire, and use the promo code RTS, and that will get you a 15% off discount on that premium subscription. Speaking of Wild Card Weekend, it's already going to be action-packed. Make it a little more interesting with a sleeper slip. Here's mine for the Bills game that I am absolutely horrified and terrified for. The Bills are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1 p.m. on Sunday. I got Jay Allen using his playoff legs, more than 33.5 rush yards. Cooks on a massive heater right now. I got him getting in the end zone. Dalton Kincaid, more than 16.5 on his longest reception. And Travis Etienne, more than 61.5 rush yards, because everybody can rush on the Buffalo Bills. If you want to tell that, or of course, create your own, do so via the link in the description below. Click that and sign up for a sleeper account. And once you do, you will immediately get a free $20 entry. You can use that on all the wildcard games, NBA, NHL, you name it, it's all on Sleeper. And once you use that free $20 entry, use the promo code on your screen, RTS, and that will get you a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper terms of use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper via the link in the description below. We turn the page from the regular season to the postseason, where one team remains within the NFC East. The Philadelphia Eagles wind up securing the 3 seed, and they play host to the loser of the NFC West. Just a couple of days ago, the San Francisco 49ers were playing for a division title and for the 1 seed, but they couldn't put up a single touchdown against that stout Seahawks defense. And as a result, they got to go on the road and play the reigning champs. 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. It's the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, who are looking to repeat in Super Bowl 60. We'll predict this game first, and then we'll take a look at the rest of the slate as well, because I'm interested to see your guys' thoughts on the whole NFC bracket here. But let's dive in to the game at hand within this division. J-Tuck, I'll start with you, because I know you're going to be rooting for the green, the birds. I know you're going to be pulling for them here in these playoffs. They're taking on the 49ers, a team, I'm telling you, at a 6 seed here, right? This is a team you probably were wishing would be a little worse at that spot, because they were just contending for a division title a couple of days ago. Do you think San Francisco, 4.5-point dog in this one, has what it takes to go into Philadelphia and knock off the reigning champs in round 1?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because I follow my sis Simone on Instagram, and I watched her little Instagram reel about how they was they should have just played a starter so they could play Green Bay and play a Michaelis Parsons.
They scared.
Hey, Boogeyman is here in San Francisco. Now, last week I thought y'all going to run to the Rams, and so I was like, y'all are already done so. But this will be a little bit closer. But to go out there at the link, what uniforms y'all size? The Kelly Greens is going to be all black. What y'all do? I didn't get the wardrobes right.
So you should know.
You know what I'm saying? But for them not to play San Francisco, who did not get in the end zone last week versus Seattle Seahawks, this is going to be a tough matchup when it comes to the Eagles versus San Fran. I feel like San Fran is one of those teams, but they've been sneaky, flying under the radar all season. Brock Purdy, he's kind of, he's played in some big games. He's been to a Super Bowl before. Christian McCaffrey, we know what their defense can really do. I think they just brought in Kaiser White at the linebacker position a second ago. So I think this is going to be a back and forth battle. This is going to have to be a game where the Philadelphia Eagles finally clicks. But if it's one of those throw for 48-yard type games, I think San Francisco could get Philadelphia at the link. So better play your A game because the whole world's sitting back and watching.
What's the final score prediction on this one, J-Tuck?
I'm going to go with San Fran 24, Philly 20.
J-Tuck has no repeat champion this season. He's got the Niners pulling off the upset. Rio, it's win or go home. It's playoff time. The Niners on the road at the link, taking on the Eagles. Who wins it and why?
Look, man, the 49ers are a very good matchup for this team, but the 49ers defense scares me, though, man. I know the Eagles have had their problems and their difficulties offensively. They can't wait to ship Kevin Patullo the hell off that roster when the season's over with. But I don't know, man. That Seahawks game scared me a little bit when I watched the Seahawks 49. I know that's divisional. That was for the 1 seed and all, but there are some things that could be exposed on that 49ers team. But the championship pedigree, the team's been there before. They're one of the few teams in the NFC I'm confident can run a fair fade with the Eagles. The Niners got to do it because the longer the Eagles go, they can win all of this shit again, because this year feels like every team except the Carolina Panthers can win the Super Bowl this year. This is the one year the Chiefs not in the playoff, the Ravens not in the playoff. This is a wild year, and the Eagles are built for this shit. They say styles win fights. There's not many teams that can play the Philadelphia Eagles style of football. I'm picking the Niners, but I'm very cautious. I think Philly might win this game, but off the strength, I'm going 49ers 24-20.
Bang, bang, Niners game.
I'm very confident.
I can see the Eagles winning 23-20, though.
So that's really what you think. Okay, man.
Go Niners, though, baby. Let's go.
Wow, we are 2 for 2.
Some strong spells. Y'all gonna have to hold hands, join forces. Because y'all's black magic and y'all's rooting against my team hasn't worked so far.
Hey, we got a cabana in Cancun waiting for you, Simone.
So far, there is no faith in the reigning champs. KB, do you have faith in Philadelphia moving on to the divisional round?
You already know I'm praying back to the football guys. They've been good to me when it comes to against the Philadelphia Eagles. But I think this is a really scary matchup for the Eagles, not because that the Niners are some world beaters or anything like that right now. I know we got some Niners fans in the chat right now, but it's honestly because no matter who's on the field, they go out there and perform. We've seen the entire season. The 49ers have dealt with injuries. They're still dealing with injuries right now, and they still go out there and be competitive. I know they didn't wind up scoring a touchdown last week against Seattle, so they'll have their own demons to exercise if they ever face Seattle again. But the Eagles are a different team. The Eagles are a team that struggle offensively, and I like J-Tuck said, you're not going to be able to have those, Jalen Hurts throwing for 98 yards or something like that and winning the game. You got to go out there and try to play some offense, and of course Philly's defense is definitely going to keep them in this game, I believe. What's going on with Brock Purdy? Because didn't he have an injury at the end of that Seattle game? Is he okay? Is he ready? Yeah, is he good to go?
He's playing.
Okay, he's playing. So all right, so I think they have a much better of a chance. Now, let's see if the Niners can get that running game rolling. They haven't been able to run the ball very well all season, even though they have Christian McCaffrey. So we'll see. I think the Niners can pull this one out, though. I really do see that happening, and I know Philly fans are very scared of this matchup. But I think they have some evidence of why they feel that way. So I think the Niners can pull this one out, but I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be like a 16-13 type game. I don't see both these offenses going off with the Eagles' defense, how good they've been, and then the Eagles offense not really performing up to par lately. So I think if one of these teams wins, it's going to be low, but I'm going to take the Niners just barely edging it out.
3 for 3 on the dog. This is something else. I can't tell if it's pure hate or if the fellas really do think the Niners.
It's both. It's both. It's both.
Yeah. I actually think Philly's gonna win, but I'm going against the grain because I need them out. I need them in Cancun with the rest of us because I need them out, man. I need them out.
Well, you
I see
fellas,
Cancun on 3. 1, 2, 3.
you might not have belief, but Darius, he's got belief. Darius is saying the Eagles, as we hear the NFL draft music coming in the background. We have Darius,
She just activated me.
who has belief in his Eagles. Darius is saying the Eagles are going to sneak into the Super Bowl.
Gosh.
They're going back to back. Simone knows what winners look like. Darius is a Chiefs fan, so he thinks we'll see him next season. But he saw those Philadelphia Eagles back in February, and we know how that went. Simone, glad you came back on because it's your time to, I don't know, step up and put some respect on the reigning champs here. I mean, I can't even believe it.
You heard them voices raising. I heard 3 voices raised into different octaves. I know who they think will win this game. Okay, it's very clear. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. One thing I've never do, and I pride myself on, is being a truthful woman. Okay, a woman of her word. I've never sat up here or lied to y'all before. Y'all might think I just be saying stuff. Yeah. I've never lied to y'all. Okay. Am I like, I got my shoulders rolled back for this game. This is going to be a tough game. You know what I'm saying? We have to be on our P's and Q's. This is a very, very, very strong opponent. No, Rio, no. Okay. Because one reason why I could never be nervous is because this defense I got behind me. Okay. Vic Fangio, who is in front of me as a leader. This defense is something serious. Okay. Jalix Hunt just turning up every single game this season. Adoree Jackson, like I said, keep getting better and better. We got Nakobe Dean coming back this game. Nakobe Dean has been injured for a while. Our best run defender, best run stopper, and he's going to be back. Georgia Bulldogs, most of them are at full strength, ready to go for this game, okay? Lane Johnson, also, who's been on ice, is going to be back this game as well. Obviously, we know we can pretty much bet that this Eagles defense is going to keep us in the game, especially after seeing the way that, the Seattle Seahawks were able to dictate the game defensively. We know what the Birds going to do defensively. Obviously, the question is, what offense are we going to see? This offense has to get into a rhythm fast and continue throughout the game, because even if we keep this a low-scoring game, we already know, like we see against the Bills, it's just one big play away from the other team, like, making the G scary. So this offense just has to – we got to score, I feel like, 23 points offensively to win this game comfortably, because even if we can keep it low, like a 10-0 game in the third quarter, all it takes is one big play to make this G scary. From the Niners. So offense got to show up. I don't know, bro. Drink some, I got this supercharged tea. They need some energy. They just need to come out there with some energy. We see the Niners offensively. They just got so much energy, not just on the field, but just before the game, Kittle doing all this, firing the team up. You got Fred beating the drum, talking about I'm coming back for the game. They just have a different type of energy that I need to see from my offense coming into this game. Defensively, we know we got the energy, but offensively, we need some Gilly. Do he got to come in the locker room before the game or something to get these dudes fired up?
Need a mascot.
What you say?
Go get Kevin Hart and Meek Mill out there.
we need something, because it's it
Kevin
just
Hart.
seems like the offense to me kind of just you know what I mean? No, fire it up. So I am feeling positive. I just feel like as long as, again, like I said, we win this turnover battle, we run the freaking ball, because the Niners run defense is questionable. Okay, we saw Tank Bigsby against the Commanders tearing it up. Okay, it's no reason to have traded for Tank Bigsby, seeing what he can do continuously, and then not utilizing him. Okay, y'all seen Kenny Gainwell. Y'all seen the way Kenny Gainwell is putting the Steelers on his back. That's what he was doing with us. We had Saquon and Kenny Gainwell in a little routine, in a little rotation. But it's we just Saquon, Tank not getting involved. We have to keep Saquon and Tank involved. Run game got to dominate. Offense got to get some consistency going. Defense, do what you do. Regardless, we're going to be good. Yeah. But I won't be there, sadly.
How good you going to be? Final score.
I said 20. We're going to win, but we got to score 23 points. Because I need, we can't have, like I said, we can keep it low scoring, but them low scoring games just get too dangerous at the end. It be getting too stressful. It's just one Christian McCaffrey big gainer, and then shoot, now the defense on their heels, and Gita got scary with 5 minutes left. I can't take that, y'all. I'm getting old, okay? I don't watch a lot of stress of Eagles football in my life this season. I can't take another one of those. Like,
well, there you have it. Rio, J-Tuck, KB.
No, J-Tuck.
They have the Niners moving on. Simone has his Eagles, or has her Eagles. J-Tuck, question for the audience.
I just thought typically when offense is struggling, the quarterback would be the spark plug, but maybe Gilly would be the guy. Right? You know what I'm saying? Maybe Gilly would be the guy.
I got bigger fish to fry than this right now, okay?
Oh, the whistle.
You sound a little bit shooketh over there.
I know, man. I want the same energy. There was not. There was zero mentions in that long soliloquy about my quarterback. I just want to make sure you okay,
because
sis.
my quarterback does what he does when it's the playoffs. I don't gotta mention him because we already know what the hell he gonna do.
Okay, all right, there it is.
I'm talking about what I need to see. I already know what I'm gonna see. Okay, from J.
Okay.
So I don't need to mention that.
We got
He's gonna go 9 of 20, 121. And no
we got the red carpet
MVP and not begging for John Harbaugh.
Hey, we got the red carpet VIP cabana waiting for you in Cancun. Simone.
She gonna be fashionably late.
See you soon on
February.
We got No Name coming in. Whole time the Eagles fans are skipping over the fact that Saleh held the 7th offense in the NFL to 13 points in the Seahawks. Kevin Patullo will get out coached. It's a good point. Seattle went into that game just shy of 30 points per game. They got shut down. We'll see if the Niners can find a way to do that against Philadelphia. The template saying, I think Tank Bigsby is an asset, but using our run defense as a barometer.
He been popping, not just against the Commanders. Thanks.
Well, we'll see if they give him some touches, and if that winds up being the difference. We do know the fellas have the 49ers moving on to the divisional. Simone has her Eagles moving on to the divisional, and now the question remains. Who do you think moves on to the Super Bowl? It's that time of the year where we got to make our predictions. Rio, I'll start with you. Who ends up playing in Santa Clara for Super Bowl 60? And at the end of the day, who ends up hoisting the trophy in February?
I got the Los Angeles Rams and the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl this year. And I say this.
Z-Bot here loves that.
I say
just
this
saying that to get more screen time from Z-Bot.
I say that with zero confidence because this could go all of 1,000 ways. But I'll tell you who was not winning the Super Bowl this year. That would be the Philadelphia Eagles. But give me the Rams over the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl this year. Sorry, Z-Bot.
You just be saying anything, Rio.
No.
Because you just said rewind, man. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles won the Super Bowl, man.
No. I said I want y'all out because y'all are a problem. Because y'all have the experience to get back. I'm not picking y'all to go back. So, y'all are fully capable. Y'all fully capable of doing so. But Cancun awaits you
in February.
The water's beautiful. Water's beautiful.
It is crystal clear, as is Rio's vision, having my Buffalo Bills make the Super Bowl. Jay Tuck, how are you viewing it going down at Levi Stadium in February? Who is going to be playing for Super Bowl 60?
I really don't know, but I'm going to go. I think I'm going to side with Rio a little bit. I feel like the lane is clear for you, Z-Bot. Like, there's no Lamar Jackson, there's no Joe Burrow, there's no Pat Mahomes. Like, just walk through the door, right? But I also think the Denver Broncos is a scary team. They're playing good football, but I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills out the AFC. No. And then in the NFC, I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think the Rams are the more complete team, but they're still up and down, right? Depends on what Matt Stafford shows up. But with their wide receiver core, running game, defense, I'm gonna go. They've been there before. I'm going to go with the Rams. So I'm really not confident in anybody right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go with the Rams and Bills.
Has there ever been a tougher year to pick a matchup? I mean,
like Rio said earlier, I need that matchup because I need it to be exciting at the Super Bowl. I don't want to be there all weekend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need want Jacksonville Jags versus the Bears. I need some sparks. I need some star power, man. I need some.
What we can't get is Seattle, Houston. The game will be 10-6. That's just the way the game
see,
will
I
end
ain't
up
doing
going.
all that. Yeah. No.
All right, KB, the fellas up top have the same prediction. Buffalo Bills, LA Rams. What do you see happening come February?
I'm going to switch things up. I'm going to say the Rams make the Super Bowl. I just think they are probably the most experienced out of the NFC. I mean, you got a lot of new teams, not very familiar with the playoffs, and you got the Niners, who have went to Super Bowls in the past, but I don't know if their injuries are gonna help them out throughout the playoff bracket. They have a lot of injuries, and I know they've been playing very strong despite that, but I don't see it happening. So I think the Rams are going to go back to the Super Bowl, and I think it's going to be a matchup of 53, the Patriots versus the Rams. However, I think it could easily be the Bills. I think it's going to be either the Bills or the Patriots. Now, I know the Patriots, you can argue they have a lot of inexperience there, but they have an experienced head coach over there with Vrabel. So he's not unfamiliar with the playoffs, so he's done a couple of that, a couple of years, has success in Tennessee, I believe. So I think it's going to be Rams, Patriots, but I think it could easily be Rams, Bills, like the fellas just mentioned. So my thing is, can the Bills be consistent, man? I mean, they've been shaky all season. I know you can argue with the Patriots, their schedule. A lot of people saying is very easy. They beat a lot of easy teams, but they split this season, if I'm not mistaken. So that's gonna be interesting if they meet in the playoffs. I think that's gonna be a big deciding factor, is who's gonna make it out the AFC. But I think it's gonna be either the Bills or Patriots. But I'm gonna say the Patriots.
The Bills' toughest matchup is this Sunday. They win Sunday, then I think they're going. If they don't, obviously they're not. But I think this is their toughest opponent laying in the field here. Simone, I just noticed all three fellas predicted the team that the Philadelphia Eagles beat last year to move on in the playoffs. That is the LA Rams. They all got the Rams representing the NFC in the Super Bowl.
It wasn't no
championship last year.
In week 3, it wasn't no snow when we beat them in LA last season. So
and you beat them this season. The question is, you might have to see him in the playoffs again. If you do, how does that go down? And ultimately, how do you see it going down when we get to February? What does your Super Bowl matchup look like in San Francisco in just a month from now?
Everybody wanted to go with the Bills. Z-Bod, I think they're fighting for more screen time.
I want Patriots.
I was going to say the Patriots. Let's have a little rematch. You know what I'm saying? Super Bowl Philly 2. Keep it a little Philly special. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Patriots. You know? Yeah, a little throwback vibes. Eagles win, of course.
Oh, gosh.
I would love to see a Bills-Eagles tailgate. I feel like we have the most lit fans. Y'all have the most lit fans in the AFC.
Oh, that'd be fine.
We have the most lit fans in the NFC. Plus, I want to jump on the table and break it. But we'll see.
Door Gunner's wondering if Hurts has ever won a road playoff.
You are not going to jump to no table in that leather jacket.
Yes, I would. I'm taking it one
that
game
stadium would burn down. Holy moly. With all those fans.
Right.
That stadium would burn down.
Yeah, I want the Bills. Okay, go for the Bills, because if Josh Allen's in the Super Bowl, that means his wife has to be there, right? So
yes. They give her some screen time. Oh my goodness,
man. Go Bills.
Hey, Simone coming on after the Super Bowl in a full body cast because she went through a table would be hilarious.
Jumping through a table.
No, I didn't say I would.
It was the best time of my life.
By the way, to answer your,
that's the whole point of jumping through is break.
You got to go through the table.
Yeah, you got to break it.
Well,
and you got to let it on fire
underneath the table, a little pad.
Nah, ain't no
pad. Concrete only. That's the rules.
Have you broken table?
I actually have not, believe it or not. I observe. I spectate.
I observe.
I value my tailbone. You know what I mean? I want to be able to move into my later years. Door Gunner's wondering if Hurts has ever won a road playoff game. And I believe he hasn't. I think he's 0-2 in his career in road playoff games.
He might be 0-1.
Yeah, just Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Tampa, okay. 0-1. So there you have it. But we'll see if they end up having to play. Well, they will have to play on the road if it ends up going that way, if they end up facing the Seattle Seahawks in front of the 12s. But either way, it'll be playing at home this upcoming weekend. And in order to get to the Super Bowl with our predictions locked in, you got to win on Wildcard Weekend. We can't wait to talk with you about what goes down on Wildcard Weekend next week, same time, same place. For now, we want to thank you so much for not only tuning in tonight, but all throughout the regular season. You guys have been incredible. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we look forward to hanging out with you throughout the postseason. But that's going to do it for this episode of the NFC East Roundtable. For Rio, J Tuck, Simone, and KB, I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning in to the NFC East Roundtable. And
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, fourth and forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network, covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.